Good
Hey,
morning.
we're so glad you joined us today. We hope that you will hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Joel and I are really, we enjoy doing this.
Hmm.
In fact, when we don't do it, there's an
Yeah,
impetus.
yeah. Well, we've been doing it for.
No one may be watching, but I
The
tell you,
Lord is watching.
the Lord is watching, and He put this together, and He supplied all that we need: the upper room,
Yeah.
the technical ends. He gave us Matt Murray, who is a fantastic tech person, and as we've told you before, this all began with us drinking coffee and getting into the things of God
Hmm.
and how we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so we decided, why not just invite you to
Yeah,
join
that's
our
right.
coffee? So grab you a cup if you're a
Yeah.
coffee drinker,
Dad's drinking something that
or a
smells
cup of
nice.
tea.
What are you drinking today? That's.
I'm drinking peppermint mocha. Yeah,
Aha.
it's actually McDonald's peppermint mocha,
Oh,
and
really? Did you stop by
yeah,
and get? Oh no, you buy the pods
I
with
buy
the.
the
Okay,
pods,
gotcha. Yeah.
and there are some of those that are my very special, the
Ooh.
ones that I keep, and this one, when I'm running low, I suddenly begin to feel withdrawal, and I will go buy them. But
Hmm.
there are coffees that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Since I'm not able anymore to drink the
Yeah.
dark
Are you
ones,
drinking decaf, or are you
this is
full blown?
right. This is full blown coffee, but I'm not drinking a pot a day. Well, I wasn't anyway, but I was drinking 24 ounces,
Mm,
and the doctor suggested that I not do that.
wow.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I have got the I don't know if we can even say the names of the I guess you just said McDonald's of the Black Rifle Cactus Squatch.
yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to hurt me this morning, so
Well, yeah. See,
it's
this
a little
is,
strong.
yeah, yeah. And he also told me not to drink soda pop, and so soda pop, I'm now drinking root beer, uh, which doesn't have caffeine.
Oh, I got you.
And
Yeah,
I'm really trying to. I'm drinking more water for one thing. That was a
that's always a
suggestion.
good drinking water is good. You need it.
I'm not doing too well. I still want. I still crave spicy foods,
Ah,
and that's been a
that's been a
problem.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but join us
yeah,
today.
we're glad you're here. Grab your Bible.
Pick up the Bible today because we're going to be looking at several scriptures. And we started off actually last night in prayer meeting. After we left, we're going to talk about an anchor.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
anchor. But
The soul.
now, when we got here this morning, uh, we began to do our pre-talk.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting how the Holy Spirit kind of moved into the pre-talk,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's something untried, uh,
Raw, it's like
raw.
yeah, it's not as
Yes,
refined as probably you and I would like it.
right. We haven't nailed it, but that's good because then the Spirit of God can actually
But I
move.
would say the subject matter we're talking about, you and I have we've been really working hard to individually practice or play this out.
Right.
In a real real situation, real life thing, and so it's a little experimental. It'd be like
It's
a prototype. We're building a prototype here.
right. Interesting how God has led me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, given me books
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to read by certain authors, and then to the Word.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps coming back. This morning it was just repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's repetitive, I know
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
the Lord is knocking on my door.
Yeah, and so we'll just kind of jump in, and I think that the claim we're going to make today is that your inner life is the only way really to master the outer life. We try to
Right,
do it the other way around.
right.
We try to do practices to go inside, or we act a certain way. We pretend. It's
Right.
really pretentious. instead of finding that we're calling it the inner sanctuary, the sanctum sanctorum of the heart, where we can meet with Jesus, have an intimate relationship with him, and out of that flows holiness and all the things, the sanctity and everything that God wants from us flows out of that inner chamber, if you will.
And to enter that inner chamber, you do not rush in.
Yeah.
This is where people have a problem because they see it as a waste of time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now they have a quiet time.
Yeah.
They read their Bible, they pray, they may even journal.
Yeah.
Some, but yet it's all superficial because our mind is constantly being attacked by the things of the day, and the situations of life, and therefore we miss, because we are so time conscious, we miss the time with who really matters.
Yeah, and I'm always a visual person. Imagery. I'm a big imagery person. I was telling Dad that it's like the inner chamber, or the place where I go and meet God, the prayer place. To me, like let's say that our human life has many rooms in it.
Yes.
Like a house. So the inner chamber would be like the room in the basement that is really not used very often. It's kind of a closet, not really a closet, but it's back there. And the potential for us to be with God is right there because of Jesus Christ. So we have this inner place in the basement. Now we may have a big game room in the basement or a craft room or whatever, and that's where we spend a lot of the time, but not in that other place. And we wonder why sometimes we don't have joy, we don't have peace, we don't have forgiveness, and all these things. It's because we're spending too much time out of that place with God, in the inner presence of God, the secret place.
We talked about intimacy.
Yeah.
And that fits into the secret place.
Yeah.
And last night we had our Alzheimer's group, support group, and we were talking about summer activities that you could do. And they all have one thing in common. The caregiver and the person were interacting.
Yeah.
There was conversation. There was intimacy.
Yeah, there's intimacy.
And so much of the time we rush into, we never make it into the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
And as you said, and that brings us to our first scripture, which is Psalm 16, and it's verse 11. You will make known to me the path of life. In your presence, fullness of joy. In your right hand, there are pleasures forever.
Yeah, I like that. In your presence is the fullness of joy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you could actually put everything that God is in that. In your presence is, and you set a blank. In your presence is the fullness of peace.
Right.
In the presence of the Lord is the fullness of love. Anything that comes from God, in His presence is the fullness of it.
Intimacy. We have relationships, and relationships today are superficial, mostly.
Yeah.
But there is that one that Jeanette and I have walked together for 59 years, and we have known intimacy. Intimacy goes way beyond bedroom.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Intimacy is looking and listening and being together.
Yeah. Communion, where you have a
her
connection. Yeah.
Presence.
In her presence.
Yeah. And see, that flows over into what God is telling us.
Yeah.
To be in His presence. Now we can be in the presence of one another and really not be. And,
sure.
And this is what the phone, the television, the video game, anything, we're present, but there's no interaction of intimacy.
Yeah, and we have what we call social media, and that it wouldn't be a bad thing if we didn't get together more in person. In the days that you grew up, your social media was the neighborhood picnic or the front porch of somebody, right, or the church service or whatever. And so people gathered together in real life I mean, I remember seeing the video the videos of Mom's family, the Murray family, doing their picnic. All the guys come in, they got the
No,
suits, they
yeah,
got
they're
the
all
ties and
doing
the
so, yeah,
the
yeah.
hats, and everybody's being together. And we do that in some area in some ways, but we don't do it as a practice like in the old days. Social media has replaced that, and I think to the detriment of our society.
We used to, and I know today that many of us are on diets and so forth that will not allow us, but we would, in churches I've been, after Sunday night service, a group of us would just go out and sit
Yeah,
around a table in a restaurant
yeah,
and
yeah.
and just enjoy each other's company, and that was bonding time.
Hmm.
And churches today, we do not have that bonding
No,
time.
we scatter.
We scatter.
We scatter, and I think that we're scattered because of that. And I think that, I like this idea of the secret place is that place where His presence is, that we fellowship, and He is present there, and we're seeking that presence. And I wonder today how often you seek the presence of God in your daily affairs. Uh, and what happens is, and I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry, but
Go
what
right
happens
ahead.
is you enjoy that secret place so much that you actually take it with you
Yeah.
wherever you go. But let's not
Right.
jump there yet. Let's go ahead and let's go.
And Psalm
Yeah.
91, verse 1 and 2. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust.
Hmm.
Is he your refuge and
Hmm.
fortress, and have you found the secret garden of his love?
Yeah, I think we look at men of the old, like Moses and David and these people, and Jesus. Jesus is a great example where there was an aloneness with God that they craved, that they needed not just for refuge but for everything. What I mean? They sheltered there, they stayed there. Especially Moses. It seemed like whenever trouble came up, man, he ran to the tabernacle.
He
Um,
ran to it.
and I find myself doing that. I find myself running to the inner tabernacle and falling on my face before God.
Right.
Not literally, well, sometimes, but in that secret place of my heart. That's where a refuge is. That's a shelter. That's where I go to hide, and also just to be.
Right. You were talking when we began about a room.
Hmm.
Teresa of our village saw that, and she
Interior castle.
the interior castle, and that book, she goes her
Room by room.
imagination
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
led of the Lord. But we have rooms also
Hmm.
in our inner person,
Yeah.
and what's in the inner person comes out on us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like the bad case
Case
of
of
the
the measles,
measles.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be able to see the evidence of where people dwell by the way they act and talk.
yeah,
And so, and today, used to there was a social restraint on emotions. Not so much anymore. You're going to know exactly where people are anymore. They're going to wear their emotions on their sleeve.
and things have changed so drastically in my 80 years. I have
Hmm.
seen such change, and
Yeah.
and I'm just in one little area,
Hmm.
and basically I have watched the evolution of the process of us becoming more and more uh, flesh
Yeah.
outwardly centered rather than
Hmm.
inwardly centered. The secret place of the Most High, the secret garden, is what keeps us steady in the outward
Oh,
things of
awesome!
life.
That's so amazing. It really does, because the quality of my time with Him, it plays out in the way I react, because you're prepared. You know what I mean? Okay, think of it the other way around. Okay, think of it how, if you're sitting there and let's say you've had a problem with somebody, right? And you've
Mhm.
thought about them all day long, right? You are prepared for them when you meet their presence. You know exactly what you're going to say. You've got the venom and the emotion behind it, right?
Right.
You're prepared, and it could be terrible. It could be a very bad thing. I'm just saying that inner time with them has prepared you for the outer time.
Wherever we go, we atmosphere and we cause ripples.
Hmm.
And when we go unprepared, now we may think we're prepared, and that's where the double-minded comes in.
Yeah.
The double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. He's schizophrenic. He's double-minded, daisuko. He's double-minded, and therefore he will escalate because he doesn't have anything to his anchor.
Yeah.
The anchor is the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
And so you become a wow man.
Yeah, and we see that play out where there, like we said, in his presence is the fullness of joy, and in his right hand are pleasures evermore.
Right.
But you don't get that if you're not there in that place with him. You're not waiting for him, and spending that time engaging in him, and conversing with him. Can I read that quote from this guy, Horatius Bonar? He said, "Be much alone with God and take time to get thoroughly acquainted. Converse over everything with him. He wants not merely to be on good terms with you, but to be intimate." And I think that we don't just talk to God. And I'm learning to do this. That it's like whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, I try to speak with him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he wants to hear those things.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a good father who loves to hear his children, share their minds.
Right.
So
we used to do that around
the dinner table.
6 p.m. dinner.
Yeah.
We would sit and say, "How was your
day? Wow.
Yeah. How'd you do today?"
And I really think that's the father's patience. That's the father's love, is that he is willing to sit there and listen to you talk about whatever.
Right.
We don't just have to talk about spiritual things with him.
No. And see, this is where we err. We think we're always having to ask of him when we're in his presence. But more than that, it's just being in his presence and being open to him concerning every issue of our life.
Yeah, I think that there is an inauthenticity with prayer that I'm trying to get away from, where it is, you're plastic. You say these and thous. You never say to God, "I'm angry. I am angry. I am lustful. I am depressed." How many times have you said to God lately, "I am angry at the way the world is. I'm angry at you," even? David said it. David was free to say, "I don't understand you, God. I don't know what you're doing." And why not?
Right. See, this is the thing. When you're in the inner sanctum and you're realizing the presence of God, most of the time it's wow, I'm in the presence of the Creator and my Redeemer.
But I think that there's if you are not real with God, then you're not real with, and we're not real with anybody. But how can you be real with anybody if you're not even real with your God? If you stand up and you pretend before God, listen, God knows your heart. Remember Brennan Manning? He was talking to God in that chapel, and God says, I know you're going to fail more than you do. You know what I mean? God really spoke to his heart. He said, "Hey, quit being fake with me.
Yeah.
And just speak to me. Just be real, because then we can find healing. Then we can find life, because we're with the healer."
Right.
If I never say, "God, I've been offended by Frank Childers," or anybody, "God, Frank hurt me. Dad hurt me," then how can I get healing?
Right. See, why are we? We can be open with others.
Yeah.
But we cannot be open with God. Why do we have to feel we have to have the facade of
here's my summation, or my surmising, is that we can't come to church real.
Yeah.
We have to. Everybody has to be holy. Everybody. Everybody has to play the game of I'm not bad. There's nothing wrong in my life.
I sensed Sunday in my spirit that there were many that should have been in the altar. They should have come to him.
Yeah.
They were carrying I had been out. I'd been talking to people. People were carrying tremendous loads, and it's crushing them. Uh, they need, if they can't go to the altar here, how can they go to the altar?
Oh
Or
yeah,
do they even have an inner sanctum?
yeah. I think that there's a room provided by Jesus, but I don't think people go there. I think there's cobwebs over the door. I think that we're too afraid to go in there. You know, I mean, you look at men like Moses who had that intimate relationship that Horatius was talking about. That he had to go there. There was an inner compunction, an inner driving that he had to go through behind the veil because he needed that. He needed the counsel of God. He needed the presence of God. Jesus needed that with the Father. You know, he had an inner compunction to open that door, even though it's scary. You know, it's
Right.
like you always say about the Lord's Supper. I crave the communion with God, even though I know it's high voltage,
Yes.
because I got to get that. His body and his blood is everything.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And even though that there's danger, I got to go there. And I think
Right.
that's where you've got to get to in your life is, do you crave the presence of God?
Let's do one more scripture.
Do another scripture.
Here, God's talking to Cyrus, and it's interesting to me.
Now this is not a Jew. This is a man of the world.
Yeah, it
He's
is.
chosen of God, though.
Right. And thus says the Lord to Cyrus, his anointed, interesting,
Mm-hmm.
whom I've taken by right hand to subdue nations before him, to loose the loins of kings, to open doors before him so that gates will not be shut.
Mm-hmm.
I will go before you and make the rough places smooth. I'll shatter the doors of bronze, and cut through their iron bars. Here's what I love. I'll give you the treasures of darkness and hidden wealth of secret places, so that you may know that it is I, the Lord of God of Israel, who calls you by your name.
Wow.
I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden wealth of secret places.
Mm-hmm. And I think that what we're in, what I mean by that, I think he means about darkness is he means that there are things that are dark to us that we haven't seen
Unknown.
yet. Unknown. Yeah.
Unknown.
Yeah.
Yet are there.
Yeah.
And when you're seeking him, he opens up the treasures
Mm-hmm.
of the unknown,
Yeah.
or the things that we are not able to comprehend.
Agreed. Here's a silly little illustration. Have you noticed now in some grocery stores that the refrigerated section are all dark?
Yes, and you walk by.
Boom, the light comes on, and you go, "Oh, there's ice cream!" Right? So you don't know, and they're not so dark that you can't see. You
right,
know, but
you can see what's in there.
But you know, you walk. If you look down the row, it's all dark until you walk by it, and then it's illuminated.
Mhm.
All right, and I wonder how much treasures of the Christian life are left on the shelf simply because we don't walk near it and we're not spending time there.
I really believe that when we get to heaven, we're going to the storehouse of God, and he's going to show us, this was yours,
Yeah,
and you didn't take time
yeah.
to understand.
And I, you know, I don't know if it's just the fact that we are conditioned that the spiritual life is, and the life with God is all these and thous, and you know, instead of going in and seeking him in a real way, because he's a real person, and that may be the key right there,
Right.
that we're not sure he's real
Well,
down deep inside.
there is a practical atheism,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
and people, we've heard of him, but we've never encountered him, and that's sad for a child of God.
Yeah.
That he has never encountered. Talk to people that have never been realizing the Holy Spirit in them.
Yeah.
They have not acknowledged, perhaps, or have not known his movement.
Yeah.
And you know, that's sad.
Yeah, it is.
Because here is God
Yeah.
within us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's really calling to the Christian people. He's calling to his, and not just the Christian people, all people, but especially those who have his presence. He's calling them into his presence. You know, there is a desire of God for you, right?
Right. Well, that's why he made us.
Yeah.
It's all about the relationship. It's all about he walked with Adam
Yeah.
in the cool of
Well,
the.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you go beyond Adam, you look at Enoch. You know, you've got this guy who walked with God and he was no more. I mean, God took him. That's what the New Testament tells us, that he walked with God and he was no more. And what an awesome testimony! You know, it didn't talk about his deeds. You know, the only deed that was worthy to be talked about in the Protestant canon, the only deed that was talked about was the fact that he walked with God.
That's it, and that comes back to the question: how deep is your walk with God?
Yeah.
Is it shallow? Is it Sunday only?
Yeah.
Um,
Here's something. I'm going to talk about Chrissy for a second. The other day we were golfing, and she told me that, you know, as she was walking, you know, looking for a ball, or you know, she was talking to God and you know, just celebrating the beauty of His creation, and she just knew that she was cognizant of His presence golfing. In
Yeah.
other words, Jesus was golfing with Christy.
right, right. I read a testimony.
Too
of
bad he wasn't with me because I was focused on golfing like an
Yeah.
idiot.
I read a testimony of a lady this morning that lost her credit card in
Uh-huh.
a bad place. I mean,
Yeah.
she was filling up with
Yeah.
gas, and she worked that out, and she started home and everything, and the doors were, it was a mess. And her 3-year-old's walking behind her,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Mommy, where's Jesus?"
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, she sees Jesus in her heart,
Yeah.
reaching under the front seat of the car. She ran out and picked up her credit card. Now, I gotta tell you,
Yeah. Wow.
intimacy with God.
Yeah. Where the finder of lost things, the friend, you know, the caddy, you know what really grieves me is the fact that and I think that, you know, looking at that little boy, mom, Christy, and
Where's
me,
Jesus, man?
is the question is that that we get so bogged down in either playing the game or looking for something that we miss out, and you know, it really grieves my heart, and I think that's a lot of our life, isn't it, where we want to be seekers, we want to find him, but we're not looking for him.
Jeanette and I have been praying for 2 weeks for her lost glasses.
Yeah, did you find him?
We're not getting.
Where's Jesus?
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking, you know, what is he? He's. I don't believe he ever wastes experience, opportunity, etc.
Yeah.
Issues of life.
Mm-hmm.
What is he trying to teach us? We're trusting him. She has another prayer that she's wearing, but it's been interesting to me. We have searched the house.
Mm-hmm.
We've searched the garden. We've been everywhere,
Uh-huh.
man. Cannot find them. I sometimes believe that he's answered our prayer. She
Yeah.
has glasses. It's
Yeah.
not like, but again, he's teaching us something, and we're wanting to understand that. Her word this morning is faithfulness.
Wow.
So,
Well, you know,
great is your faithfulness.
I read a great quote by a guy. He's a desert father, and he said this. He said that God uses pain and sufferings because prosperity attaches us to earthly things.
Yes.
So,
Right.
like, if He blesses us always, we're going to be focused on earthly. But through the pain and suffering and the lessons of life, we don't find it in the earth. We have to look for it in the heavens. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so what God does is He understands that prosperity attaches our focus on the earth. So He has to use another thing to bring us to
So
Himself.
we're watching to see where God's going to move in this, how He's going to
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
He is faithful.
He is
we trust
faithful.
Him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's in the secret place that we learn to trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the secret place that we see His faithfulness.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always the answered prayer. It is that which, and that pamphlet that was given us last night, it was talking about the observing of what Christy was observing.
Yeah.
But you cannot observe that and look at the Creator and the Savior if your mind is not on
agree.
him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You take Jesus' presence is so real. You take him everywhere. It's not just church. Everywhere becomes intersanctum.
Well, that's why the room of the heart is superior to a room in the house.
Oh my goodness!
Right,
Yes.
because if I have a little chamber in my house, it's a room that I walk in, then I'm going to be tempted to stay in there and escape from people. I tell you, it's hard. It's hard even with the spiritual one, the one of the heart,
Right.
because there's sometimes when I find that sweet fellowship with God. I was telling you the other day, I find that sweet fellowship with God, and I don't want to go deal with people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because God is not a people like that. Well, he's not a people. He's a God, but you get into his presence and you're like, God, do I have to go out there and face the world? But if it's the chamber of your heart, you take, like you said, you take it with you, even on the golf course, walking around, or the grocery store, or wherever, or at work.
At work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I found it. I'd say this. I've said this 100 times, and I'm sorry if I keep saying it, but I found it at CNH Remand
Mm.
when I was working as an HR assistant. I found that secret place.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had to force myself to do it because I wasn't that pastor that could do it whenever I wanted to.
Right. And I think so much of the time we forget the being, and go to the doing.
Yeah.
And the doing does not satisfy because we are not in the being.
And yeah, I think that's the problem with the quiet time movement. The quiet time movement was just another doing.
A doing. It
You know,
became obligation.
I don't think it was taught that way. I think it became
came
that way. Because it's just another practice that we put into our life. And I'm not saying the practices are
See,
bad.
we do that with all the disciplines or the practices or
Yeah.
spiritual practices. They become they either become duty or objects of pride,
Yeah.
which they were never meant to be. I read my Bible more than you do. I'm a
I'm
better.
fasting.
Yeah.
I'm fasting. I have this, and I'm a prayer warrior. I wish we'd never come up with that. I think that what we have to realize is the object of the discipline is the person behind it. You said it earlier, that we seek him for stuff instead of seeking him for himself.
Right. The object of our faith is him.
Mm-hmm.
It is not what he can give us.
That's right. Yeah.
Because all things are possible to him who believes. But the thing of it is, we rush into his presence, we give him our laundry list, and then we go out and try to live our life without him, basically.
I agree. Yeah, and we were talking about the fact that focus is so important. When you go in, it's very difficult for me in my secret chamber sometimes, because I bring so much into that secret chamber with me. My cares, my worries, and it's hard for me to focus sometimes on him because I'm thinking about stuff I have to do, or maybe something that somebody did, or our boredom. You and I were talking about boredom, and we could address that. But you get in there, and it's not as stimulating as Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And so we find ourselves with TikTok brain, and we can't focus on God for 7 seconds because we got to flip the page.
And it's so he has a great sense of humor, because look at how we approach him, the God of the universe. We approach him worse than we do any other individual.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking
Yeah.
From my
Your
experience, my experience.
Yeah.
And we rush in, and of course, I was reading a book recently by a gentleman who waited 10 hours.
10 hours.
Yes. But oh, the Lord showed up. But see, the Lord showing up is his presence is my great desire. Because when I'm in his presence, what does it say? When I'm in his presence, there's fullness of joy, and in his right hand
Our
Their
pleasures.
pleasures forevermore.
Probably the reality, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. The problem, the reality is, it took him 10 hours to recognize it.
Yes, because, and I think the Lord might have said I was here all along. But again, we do not settle ourselves.
Oh, no, 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 no.
And there is this whole theology of centering upon Jesus. Focusing, I like better than centering.
Focusing, yeah.
Because centering has moved into some really weird practices. But he's the object of our faith.
Yeah.
He ought to be the object of our faith.
I think the challenge is that sometimes he doesn't, you know, one is we can't hear because we're so conditioned to stimulus. We're so conditioned to instantaneous gratification. If you want to, like last night, we looked up something just on Google. We just Googled it. You know, everybody was talking about it. You know, well, hey, what does this mean? And then you just Google it. We have a quiet with God. We're on His timetable. You know what I mean? He doesn't rush.
No.
We can't force Him to rush. And so you sit there, like yesterday I told you I got a shh moment where I'm seeking God and I'm praying, and all of a sudden in my spirit I hear shh. And it's like, I don't want to shh, because if I shh, then what's going to happen is all the garbage from my life is going to pile into my inner sanctum. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to be trying to fight, you know, the distractions. You know, the guy ripping up his car down the road here, and all that other stuff. And it's hard for me to focus on God. And then I think also that He is just not in a hurry to say anything.
No. He's waiting for us to quieten our spirit. And that is my job, is to quieten my spirit. And that takes time. And I have to meditate on the Word to get that. I say I've got to. He does that when I come and I allow Him to quieten my spirit.
Yeah. You know, I feel like that my relationship with God sometimes is like it is with my father-in-law. My father-in-law is a very measured speaker, which is very, I'm jealous of it because, you know, he weighs his words. You know, he's not quick to say something. So, you know, you have to be. I'm not saying he's slow. I'm just saying that he is calculated, and it's, you know, the things he says.
He thinks things through.
He thinks things
He's
through.
a man of wisdom.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I'm used to conversing quickly with people, and so, you know, I have to slow myself down, and I've adapted. You know, we went golfing last week, and I enjoyed his presence. I love him to pieces. He's a second father to me. So, listening to him and the stuff that comes out of his mouth, I feel like that's a lot like my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Is that I'm not, you know, there are times when it's, you know, I feel like he is fluent, and then there's sometimes I think he's quiet, but you have to get to know him. You know what I mean?
See, and the only way you get to know a person is by being with that person.
Oh, that's true. And, you know, when I was a younger person with my father-in-law, I talked incessantly because I'm a nervous talker.
Sometimes we feel we've got to carry on the conversation.
Yeah.
Because your silence drives us crazy.
Oh my goodness, that is a great point.
It really.
I actually think that is one of the hindrances to people with their secret place.
Oh. Silence. And if I've tried this. Because I feel many times that in the congregation, after the wildness of the beginnings, to quieten ourselves, and 5 seconds of quietness, and people are beginning to shuffle and move, and because we have not learned.
Yeah,
that's a learned behavior.
I wonder. Okay, we're not going to do this, but it'd be an interesting experiment to have a podcast where we don't say anything for the first 5 minutes. I guarantee people would bail on us before the 5 minute.
They'd be calling and asking if there was something wrong with our volume.
Is your audio broken? Yeah. Or would you watch a silent podcast?
Probably not.
No. Well, most podcasts are listened to anyway.
Well, when I do, there are times that I do. and I put them on closed captioning.
See, that's not silence.
I know, but I'm practicing. I'm practicing lip reading
Uh-huh.
and my reading of
Oh, I see. I got you.
yeah.
Okay, so
There's a reason behind my
there's
madness.
the Alzheimer's guy last night was talking. He does a fundraiser every year, and this year's fundraiser, he read the online. I guess he read Don Juan by Miguel Cervantes,
Yes.
and it's an enormous book. I mean, it is, and it
Yeah,
took him how
30
many hours?
chapters.
How many hours he did? He finally lost his voice. I thought
30.
30 hours. He read this book 30 hours, and I wonder how many people tuned in all the way. But how much money would you raise if you did a silent thing? You know what I mean? Where
Well,
you just
because people today are geared, they are conditioned, if you will, for audio as well
Yeah.
as video. We have become hearers and
yeah. Oh,
seers.
absolutely. I got to tell you, living in this valley is a challenge because I get the highway noise up here. I get the highway noise here. My neighbors, I love them to pieces, but they drive their vehicles like crazy and they're loud. And sometimes I absolutely crave quiet.
Yes.
I mean, if you can steal a moment of quiet, I know parents feel this way. You know, sometimes you want your kids just to be quiet so you can gather your thinking. And so I think that in a spiritual sense, the spiritual quiet of your heart is equally impossible.
I bought some earplugs this week
Oh yeah.
because there are certain, my hearing is not good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain sounds like the weed eater, the lawnmower, that bother my hearing. I mean, what
Mm-hmm.
might damage it
Yeah.
further.
Well, all of us.
So I
can.
stick these things in my ear. I bought them, and they're rated for 33 decibels. That's what they cut out, but yet they don't cut everything out. But when I turn these hearing aids off, I'm in silence.
Wow. It's kind of a blessing, man.
It is.
I
There
mean,
are
it's a
times
curse too. I mean, you know, not a curse, but you know what I mean. It's
well,
yeah.
there are everything that happens to you can be used for good, for blessing
Yeah.
actually. And
Yeah.
but I'll give you a couple of those,
Oh, nice.
and they will help you.
Help me be sane. But
Yes,
yeah.
let's not go into that.
No, let's not go into it. Because especially when I'm trying to pray, you know, and you know, I've told the story before that I was at church and you know the mowers, you know, the county mowers were out here mowing, and I thought, oh, I can't even pray, and so I told the secretary, I said, I'm going to Fellows Lake, I gotta have some quiet. Get out to Fellows Lake and the water's lapping, and I'm out there and and then a guy across the lake kicks on his mower and starts mowing. I think I can't win, you know. There's no place I can go. Uh,
But,
but
again, we have to find those.
yeah,
We have to find. You make appointments with people. You need to make appointments
Yeah.
with God. That's
Yeah.
a practical.
but I think out of that appointment making, you can develop a desire to really commune with Him and to engage with Him, and you'll and again the danger is that you won't want to be with people, and I think that God puts people in our life, and I wrote this the other day. God puts people in our life to teach us this inner sanctity,
Right. To
to drive us into that
because
place.
out of that experience with Him, we are able to deal with
Yeah,
people
we're equipped.
on a different level,
Yeah,
on a spiritual level, as well as a physical level, and to understand and have discernment, and to understand them better.
mm-hmm.
When I am with Him, He deepens my sensitivity to others.
Yeah,
It is not a place of escape, it is a place of supply.
I agree. And you know, He says, "In His presence is the fullness of joy." It's like going. It's like
I
going
love
in
that.
there.
I love
You
that.
go in there, you get joy, and you come out. Now, what the challenge is retaining that. It's like Moses coming out of the presence of God. He's got the shine on him,
Yeah.
and it wears off because life wears off everything God gives us.
Right.
And you know, I sent this text to Mom the other night because she was talking about me and asking how I was doing, and I said the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. Remember that
yeah.
was that a
That's
Gaither?
a song.
That's Gaither's maybe. Or maybe,
Yeah.
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 And I used to hear it in this. I used to hear you singing it all the time in the morning on Sunday morning, and I could hear that song in my head. The world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. The problem is that we let the world take it away.
Right, and we leak.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to go back time and time again to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
I am filled with the Spirit, but yet I also am needing filling.
Yeah, you need to be refreshed.
Refreshed. That's a good point. And I cannot if I go too many days without being in the inner sanctum, then I get grumpy or
yeah. Well, you're going to spend some time somewhere, and I think that's. I think people don't realize that if you're not in the presence of God, you're going to be in the presence of something else. And I can't say, and I think that I could honestly say, and I think if you disagree with this, that's okay. But I could honestly say, in the world is not the fullness of joy, because it can be taken. I mean, it's temporary. Everything is temporary. So if you're deriving joy from something in the created universe, you're going to be disappointed.
Right, and I wish folks could understand that. You have to go beyond this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and He is the way.
Yeah.
I love this. He says, "You will make known to me the paths of life." You're going to show me the paths of life.
Mm-hmm.
We are existing. We're not living.
And Christy and I have been working on this, where we sit down and say, okay, there are times when we know we recognize God's doing something. Maybe God's putting an impression on your heart, and you don't nail that down as God, but you get this notion. Maybe like to pick up the phone and to call somebody, and they're like, "Hey, how did you know? I was just asking God to help me, and you called me." And you're like, how can we walk in that all the time? Inner sanctum.
Right. And because when you come out of that, he's always with us, but there's a deeper sense of him, and he shows you faces, he shows you names.
Yeah. Yeah. If you get honestly, think about this. If you only communicated with your spouse once a week or once a day, then how are you going to know what they need, or how are you going to know how to transcribe what they're saying to you, right? I think that what has happened is God is speaking Spanish and we're hearing English.
Yes.
And we're miscommunicating because we're not taking the time to learn his language. How do you learn his language? You got to practice with him. So I my Kenyan friends watch sometimes, so I hope you're doing well. But if I don't, if I only converse with them, then I could learn Swahili pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm in a Swahili barren society, culture, then it's hard for me to be able to speak that.
Right.
Okay?
I understand.
And that's what happens with God is he's speaking God language, we're hearing human language. And I think that there's so much that's lost in translation, but how do you get to know the language of God? Speak with him, converse with him.
And put down your filters. Sometimes we filter what God is saying because we don't want to hear what God is saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a lesson in Swahili the other day, and it was so funny because because of their cultural differences, you don't say the same things, right? So you don't even no. I mean, if you think
they have
about
filters.
Well, yeah, they have certain ways of saying things that have connotations that if you want to say an English sentence, it's going to make no sense to them, even though you're using Swahili words,
right?
Because their culture is different. You have to say it. You can't say it the English way. You have to say it the African way. Do you see what I'm saying? That
I do.
That if you say like I want to ride in a taxi, okay, you could say the Swahili words, but that's not how they say I want to do, right?
Right.
Does that make sense? I don't think
Right.
I'm making sense. Am I making sense?
You're making sense.
So God is saying, and your filters come in, and you hear God through our culture. Listen, God is not a Western culture being.
No. No, and uh, we have to lay down the enlightenment,
Yeah.
the pseudo wisdom of this world crowds out the wisdom of God.
Well, okay, that's why we do word studies in our preaching. That's why we do cultural studies in our preaching, because there's a huge difference between America 2025 and time when Jesus was, when Paul was. And so we have to bring people from our mindset into his mindset. And how do we know that? We know that by the inner sanctum, the
Right.
inner chamber.
And to a lot of people miss it because their filter is set for Western thinking
Yeah.
only.
Yeah. 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 It's hard for us to grasp God because we try to bring him into our chamber instead of coming into his chamber.
And therefore, all of it becomes dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not dark in the evil sense, but dark in the not understanding sense.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes Jesus seem otherworldly, not, it's hard for people to understand.
Oh yeah. I mean, if if you've lived in America all your life, okay, and especially if you've lived in Missouri all your life, you're gonna automatically think everybody thinks like you, right? And that things, I've had people, when you say, hey, there's persecution in the church. No, there's not. Well, yes, there is. In Nigeria, they're killing Christians. In
Right.
Congo, they're killing Christians. But it's not real because it's not happening to you.
Right.
And I think the same way happens with God, is
Mm.
because I'm not spending time with God, he's less and less real.
Right. And that practical atheism is because we're not spending
Yeah,
time. with
yeah,
him.
yeah. In the presence of is the fullness of joy, but you got to get in the presence.
And we're going to have to take the time to do it.
Yeah,
It's not, he doesn't, God is perfect gentleman. Jesus is perfect gentleman. He will not kick your door down,
hmm
but he invites.
and I think that if we were to say the how to do this, here's the how. It's just shutting off all your devices, getting alone with him, and just you can pray, read your Bible, but you got to be patient, and you can't, and just focusing in on him is the key. It's that simple. There's no
I-
magic to it.
Television has become boring to me, really boring.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I swept through 441 channels, and I've been watching The Chosen. I've been trying to watch different things, documentaries, something, but yet it doesn't satisfy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that being able to learn the discipline of shoving things out, and it, like yesterday, I got but I'm gonna tell you what, it was a battle to keep my mind quiet. You know what I mean? And just keep battling. Don't give up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's the key, is don't give up. You just keep battling, and it'll come.
Right. Again, it is practicing quieting your mind. It's saying taking thought into captivity.
Yeah. Bethel. I told you earlier. Bethel told me that she read about an experiment that somebody did with children, where they lit a candle and they told the children, don't look at the candle, and they were trying to discipline them to reject something, to put something out. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that I'm not saying go light a candle, but
For some, that would be a real step
well,
forward.
I'm thinking about trying it to see how long I could last. Just light it while you're doing something. But the idea is to we have the ability to block things out and
Right.
to focus. And I think that it's that we don't block things out. It's like going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Do you know that they say that I was reading about it? They were saying that. No, listen.
I'm
Okay,
listening. I'm
all right.
listening. I need the wisdom. Give me wisdom.
Well, they say that your bladder may be empty, but your mind says it's not. And so, right, you get up and you keep yourself awake because you're concentrating on it, and and then the more you get up, the more you reinforce that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. When
We're
you're up,
talking to
you're
men.
up.
Men, we know what we're talking about. You're right. So
Yeah.
you feel like that if you get up and you go and there's nothing, But the idea here is that when you reinforce something, it learns and you pattern. So you're sitting there thinking, I got to go pee. I got to go pee. Instead of just saying, okay, I don't have to go pee and turn it off and block it out.
Right.
If you block it out, then you have the skill to keep blocking it out.
See, this is. The
I've never
thing.
been able to do that, by the way.
This is the thing. It takes 30 days to adapt to
Yeah.
habit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it takes
21, yeah. 21 days.
Yeah, 30 days to get rid of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I got
Remember?
you. Oh, I got, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. A few times, but
Yeah.
long time to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And you never really get rid of it.
Yeah.
We are habituated people.
Yeah. Okay, listen. What we're trying to say here is don't get discouraged if you go into your sanctity, your place, your sanctuary, and you can only last like 20, 30 seconds. Just keep doing it. Being in the presence of God is just being in the presence has an effect on you.
Right. And we're not called to go wait 10 hours.
Man, that would be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, but the end result to him was amazing.
Yeah, I think that there is a purifying effect I found of just doing the whole idea of seeking. The promise says you'll find him, but if you'll seek him with all your heart, I believe he says. And so learning that discipline is the key.
Right.
And just staying with it, staying on the pony.
We have 3 minutes. Summarize.
Well, we said that there's a chamber, the secret place, and it's waiting for you. Go there, seek it out, learn it, be with God, and watch the other thinking. Watch where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if you're spending more time in anger and the world and the news and television, then that's gonna soak in on you. I was talking to somebody yesterday that if you're watching TV shows and these reality shows where there's cheating and there's lying and guys, that's going to have an effect on you.
Yeah,
it's going to affect your life. It's just like if you're around somebody that cusses all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or
right.
they're angry all the time. So if you're around Jesus in His presence, that's going to rub off on you. That's the idea.
Well,
keep going after it.
It's a holiness flows from inner saint.
Yeah. And you don't have to pretend.
No.
Yeah.
And we can be authentic, and people are looking for authentic Christians.
Yeah. And I think that being real with God is one thing. Just be real with Him. Just go in there and be real with Him. And you'll take Him wherever you go.
Amen.
God bless you guys.
Take care.